Welcome to The Explainer. Now, if you've been anywhere near the digital marketing world lately, you've definitely felt the collective anxiety in the air. It's 2026, and there is this widespread, almost palpable fear out there that Google is actively hunting down and penalizing any and all AI-generated content. People are literally terrified that just using generative tools is going to tank their search rankings overnight. But today, we're going to unpack the reality of how search engines actually treat AI authorship, and honestly, more importantly, what they are genuinely measuring when they evaluate your pages.
So let's just address the elephant in the room right away. Following the really strict new spam updates we saw roll out, especially that massive one in June 2026, everyone is asking the exact same big question. Does Google penalize AI content? I mean, website owners are frantically refreshing their Search Console timelines, terrified that their use of drafting tools has flagged them for a manual action or some massive algorithmic downgrade.
Okay, let's dive into this and immediately pop that penalty bubble. The pervasive myth out there is that Google has this giant switch behind the scenes, a master AI detector that just automatically downranks anything written by a machine. But the reality, which is drawn directly from Google's own spam policies, is totally different. Google is actually incredibly agnostic to the tools you use to create your content. They honestly don't care about the origin, they care about the outcome. What they are actually detecting and penalizing is low-value, spammy content that offers absolutely zero help to a human reader.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer to break this all down. First, the AI penalty myth. Second, why authorship gets ignored. Third, the real target, low effort. Fourth, peeking under Google's hood. And finally, winning the AI content game.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the AI penalty myth.
Listen to this definitive statement from Google search advocate John Mueller. He outright says, "I wouldn't think about it as AI or not, but about the value that the site adds to the web." I mean, this is authoritative reassurance straight from the source. The true metric of success isn't about proving a human sat there and typed every single keystroke. It's really about whether your page actually answers the searcher's query, demonstrates care, and delivers genuine value to the overall web ecosystem.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point because the data absolutely backs this up. Look at this massive Ahrefs study that analyzed hundreds of thousands of pages. If Google penalized AI, the top results would logically be purely human, right? Instead, purely human-written content accounts for only 13.5% of top-ranking pages today. A massive 86.5% of top-ranking content utilizes AI assistance. There is absolutely no statistical evidence that AI usage alone hurts your rankings. The top of the SERPs is completely dominated by AI-assisted content that has been carefully edited and shaped to provide real value.
Moving right along to Section 2, why authorship gets ignored.
First off, modern AI tools produce highly coherent text. If Google aggressively penalized anything that even looked AI-assisted, the collateral damage to legitimate, high-quality pages would be massive. Second, it would be wildly hypocritical. At the 2026 I/O event, Google announced they were upgrading search with Gemini 3.5 Flash as the default model and expanding AI overviews. They're literally generating content themselves. And lastly, automation isn't even new. Automated content like weather updates, earnings reports, and live sports scores have been successfully powering highly useful search results for over a decade.
So if we look at the June 2026 spam update, we see exactly where Google draws the line. Using AI to generate fact-check drafts, totally acceptable. But if you use AI to generate thousands of unoriginal pages just to manipulate search rankings, what they are officially calling scaled content abuse, that is absolutely classified as spam. Similarly, trying to manipulate generative AI responses, like buying fake citations just to get featured in AI overviews, is also a direct spam violation. The tool is perfectly fine. It's the manipulative behavior that's the problem.
That brings us to Section 3, the real target. Low effort.
Let's move to and see how this builds historically, because to understand this, we need to look at how spam has evolved. 15 years ago, the big tactic was article spinning, right? Taking one article, swapping in synonyms with software, and publishing hundreds of barely readable variations. Google fought back with early algorithms. Fast forward to 2024, and we saw the rollout of sophisticated systems like SpamBrain right alongside AI features. Now, in 2026, the real target is scaled content abuse. The tactic itself has evolved from crude synonym swapping to padding generated by LLMs for sure, but the core enemy remains the exact same: low-effort manipulation designed for search engines, not for actual people.
And this tool-agnostic approach isn't just limited to Google Search. YouTube, obviously part of the same parent company, shares this exact philosophy when it comes to monetizing inauthentic content. They strip ad revenue from channels not because they use CGI or generative AI, but because they act like content farms. They actively penalize generic, template-based videos, distressing content, and crucially, AI personas discussing highly sensitive YMYL, or your money or your life, topics like health, finance, or legal issues. The focus across the board is entirely on maintaining a high-quality viewer experience.
Let's dig a little deeper into the data in Section 4, peeking under Google's hood.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what we found when internal developer documentation leaked back in May 2024. It exposed over 14,000 of Google's actual code attributes, and it revealed a specific fascinating metric called content effort. Google's algorithm is literally scoring how hard it was to create your piece of content. It uses an LLM to estimate human effort by looking for things that are inherently hard to replicate, things like original data, named expertise, custom visuals, and proper citations. If your page looks like an LLM just spat it out from a basic prompt without any human insight added, it gets a low content effort score and gets demoted, plain and simple.
But while they are measuring super sophisticated metrics like effort, the leak also confirmed they still rely heavily on the absolute fundamentals. The title match score attribute measures the alignment between a searcher's query and your page's title tag. This proves that alongside providing high-effort original content, traditional SEO practices like matching search intent and front-loading your primary keywords are still explicitly scored to ensure relevance. You really need both deep effort and clear structure.
And zooming out to the broader regulatory landscape for a second, it entirely confirms this focus on value over origins. Take the world-first UK Competition and Markets Authority ruling from June 2026. It allows publishers to opt out of having their content used to fine-tune Google's AI models while explicitly protecting their ability to still rank in search results. This proves the ongoing battle isn't about whether text is human or AI. It's entirely about the fair exchange of value, proper attribution, and giving content creators real bargaining power over their intellectual property. All right, wrapping things up with actionable steps in Section 5, winning the AI content game. First things first, let's kill a ridiculous trend that's been going around. Some businesses are spending real money building secondary, stripped-down, plain-text versions of their websites just for AI bots to read. Do you actually need to do this? Absolutely not. Google has directly pushed back on this. A well-structured website with clear headings and logical navigation works perfectly for human visitors, for Google Search, and for AI tools alike. Creating a completely separate AI version just creates unnecessary upkeep for you. Just fix your main site instead. So, the crucial point is this 4-step playbook for 2026. Number 1, absolutely use AI to speed up your brainstorming, outlining, and drafting. Number 2, focus your actual human energy on EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. You have to inject real-world examples and personal insights that an AI simply doesn't have. Number 3, treat any AI output strictly as a first draft. You must be the editor who polishes the final tone. And number 4, fact-check relentlessly. AI hallucinates, and Google demands factual reliability, especially if a user is basing a real-life decision on your information.
Ultimately, guys, Google isn't trying to stop AI content. They are trying to stop bad content. The margin for mass-producing mediocrity is completely gone. So I want to leave you with this question to really deeply rethink your own content creation strategy moving forward. Are you using AI to give yourself the leverage to raise the bar and create something truly exceptional? Or are you literally just using it to lower your effort? Because as we've seen today, effort is exactly what the algorithm is measuring. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep creating value.